Have you ever been butted out? You know, like the big troll was butted out of the story in the Three Billy Goats Gruff. You know, the story I used to tell as a Chicago Public Schools librarian. I was a librarian for 11 years until I was butted into the cold waters of retirement by the mayor who closed 50 schools, and mine was one of them. I love telling that story to the children. You know, the three billy goats are on one side of the bridge and they want to eat the grass on the other side of the bridge. So, of course, the littlest billy goat goes first. Trip, trap, trip, trap. Who's that trip, trapping across my bridge? It's me, the littlest billy goat. Well, you woke me up. I'm going to make you cry, turn you in to billy goat pie. I thought of myself as a gangster rapper, Jewish woman librarian. I love telling stories to the kids, and sometimes I taught the older kids how to tell stories too. But the school closed, and for the last 5 months, they put me in different schools for 3 weeks at a time to see if I could get another job. That's what they do. But of course, no one's going to hire an old troll. So I saw the writing on the wall, and the writing said, "You're out of a job, you old troll." The last day came. I punched out on the digital time clock, but I just couldn't leave. So I said to the clerk, "Today's my last day of teaching. I'm retiring." "Oh, good luck to you," she said, and went back to her work. You don't understand, I thought. I'm not old. I'm strong. I can do downward facing dog for a long time, and plank pose too. And besides, I loved the children and they loved me. And it was a blessing to teach about books and words and stories. But of course, she didn't hear my thoughts. And you know, when you graduate college and you're all excited, but the next day you go home and you're living with your parents and you don't know what the next day will look like. That's a little bit how I felt. Oh, sure, I could tell stories, but what else? But I decided not to wallow in this conundrum. I decided I would pluck up. I would be plucky. I had pluck. I took myself to Who's Your Mama Pie Company, and I decided to treat myself to whatever I wanted, just so I wouldn't have to go right home. I looked in the glass case, and then I went and sat down on a shiny red vinyl stool by the counter, and the young serving woman came up and took my order. Well, for once in my life, I knew what I wanted. I will have 1 piece of banana cream pie, 1 piece of s'mores pie, and something fruity. I will have 1 piece of apple pear cranberry pie. Oh, and I would like a decaf latte with fat-free milk. She took my order and went away, but I saw out of the corner of my eye, on the other shiny red vinyl stool next to me, was a young woman, hair to waist, long skirt, granny glasses, sort of hippie woman, reading a book. And she looked at me curiously. So when the server brought my 3 slices, I said to her in explanation for my gluttony, I said, "I'm retiring today, so I'm treating myself." "Oh, congratulations," said the server. And she went away. Now, I'm usually chatty. And I was aware that the woman next to me wanted to chat, but I'm usually a person who chats up people in locker rooms, waiting in lines, in waiting rooms. But I decided to be resolute and not talk to any strangers. So I first tackled the banana cream pie. Banana cream oozed down my throat with the buttery crust and whipped cream topping. I ate it with as much sensuality as I could muster in a public place. The long-haired woman turned to me and said, "How is it? I've never had pie here before." This was a friggin' pie place. "Oh, why not?" I asked. "Well, I'm trying to be gluten-free," she said. "I'm trying to load up on gluten," I said, smiling, so she wouldn't know that gluten-free people piss me off. Next, I tackled the s'mores pie. Chocolatey pudding, graham cracker crust, marshmallow topping. I felt like I could be at a campfire. And finally, the apple pear cranberry. I ate each bite with little fruit popping its juice into my mouth. And I said a silent blessing for those people who picked the fruit, trying to have gratitude. I was so mindful and had such gratitude that my ego exploded, which is sort of counterintuitive to trying to have gratitude and be mindful. And then the long-haired hippie woman turned to me and said, "You're retiring? How old are you?" And when I told her I was 65, she was astonished that I was 65. And then I asked the server if I could have another latte, or could she heat this up because it was a little cold, and she went away and brought me a whole new latte. I love free things. Now I had two. And finally, the long-haired hippie woman tried to ask me a question about her book, and I said I just couldn't talk. I really hoped she understood because I had to be mindful and eat these pies. And she said she did understand. And I said, "It's really not you, and I really appreciate your understanding." And a good vibe was had by all, meaning us. And then when it was time to leave, I had the server wrap up the leftover pie slices, and she came back and brought me a beige box with a cellophane window, and in it was a chicken pot pie. No billy goat pies for me. "Here," she said, "for your retirement." "Thank you. My husband loves chicken pot pies." I love free things. And a good time was had by all, meaning me. And I left a little heftier, but feeling, well, heftier. And that's the story of my retirement party. Thank you for coming.